This is Updata speaking with you right now. This is Caleb Ash and Chase Combs.
Hello.
Speaking to you about movies and video games.
Respectively.
And occasionally on the podcast we'll throw music and other stuff in there. Who knows, maybe even something else.
Maybe we won't talk at all, but we'll save that one for the season finale.
Alright, to start out, I'm going to be speaking, we're going to do the movie segment at the beginning. Alright. So, here's what I'm going to talk about. There is undeniably growth in this cinematic universe idea after Marvel started it off. And now they've started another cinematic universe that... Are you okay?
Yeah, fine, go ahead.
Another cinematic universe that is like Van Helsing, Mummy. The Tom Cruise film that just had come out, Mummy, is starting it off, and it's going to have Johnny Depp in it. I think Russell Crowe is like Jekyll and Hyde. Have you heard that story?
Mm-hmm.
You've heard that story?
Yeah.
And the Invisible Man is Johnny Depp, which is a good cast.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. And they're also going to have like Frankenstein. They're going to start Frankenstein's story off with Frankenstein's Bride.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I thought so.
And they're all going to connect these guys?
Yeah, they're all connected through Tom Cruise, I think.
Are we going to have like an Avengers Assemble?
I don't know. Actually, I think there was some kind of quote, the best way to defeat monsters is with monsters. I think Jesus. Was from something I read about it.
So it is going to.
So it's going to be like a team up of monsters.
That seems a little goofy.
It does, but I feel like it'll be epic. I mean, if Johnny Depp signed on, it's got to be good.
Maybe.
So, what else universes have they started? There's
that one
the Godzilla.
Yep.
The mega monster universe with Mothra and all that. And King Kong's being integrated into it also.
But see, I thought they already had something like that with Godzilla.
What do you mean?
Like a cinematic universe or whatever. Didn't they?
Are you talking about the one that they made with Jack Black?
Maybe.
Oh. Well, like where he faces like a T-Rex or something. I don't know. It's so confusing. It's not like Marvel where I know everything about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they kicked it off with Godzilla, and I think his name is Bryan Cranston, the Breaking Bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was in that one, and I swear they get Samuel L. Jackson in every possible one. They got him in Marvel, and they also put him in the King Kong movie.
Yeah, why not?
It's Sam Jackson.
Throw him in.
Just throw him in. You can throw him in anywhere.
He'll play the role.
Make him play a Jedi. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're not wrong on that.
So that I haven't seen that one yet. I want to. It's kind of funny because I've rented a whole bunch of movies for this, right? And I've seen 2 of the 6 I rented, and the time is almost up on them on iTunes.
What?
Yeah, you can rent movies on iTunes. So,
wow, I didn't realize that.
You didn't know you could rent movies on iTunes?
I thought it was just, you gotta buy this.
You gotta buy this
Give me your money.
Yeah, it lasts for 30 months unless you play it. It's like 24 hours.
What? Yeah, I guess. Well, how cheap is it compared to like buying it?
$5. It'd be
Oh, I guess.
Anyways, I'm not sure what is. I haven't seen that movie, so I haven't seen any Easter eggs about it or anything.
Wait, so they're gonna bring King Kong into Godzilla's
Yeah.
Little fighting box.
Yeah.
They're gonna square up.
Yeah, I think the next movie is King Kong versus Godzilla.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, what other mega monsters are there?
There's Mothra.
Well, but that's from Godzilla. That's not really like.
No, that was a different thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
really?
It wasn't Mothra. I asked. Yeah, I tried to be like, "Isn't that Mothra?" And my friend was like, "Fuck that. No, it is not."
Okay.
I was like, "Okay, shit. I guess that's not Mothra."
Oh, so it's not Mothra.
No,
It's something else.
it's some other shit. And they have this other creature that's like multiple dragon heads or whatever that they're gonna integrate into it.
Pretty sure that's from Godzilla.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty sure. That's So what is this gonna? It's like a tag team then.
It's I don't know.
What King Kong's gonna be?
Well, I mean, eventually, not in the King Kong. I'm guessing King Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh yeah, well
is
no,
its
they're
own
gonna
thing.
kill each other. Like, no doubt about that.
I hope not. Then there's
Yeah.
there's no universe.
That's right.
there.
That's right. No. I hope they don't, but almost do.
I wonder how they end that. They're so big. Like, where are they gonna run and hide from each other?
They're not gonna run and hide. They can't. They're too slow.
Unless they're gonna like team up at the end. Like, ooh, we should have been friends all along.
Oh, let's go kill all the humans. See, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's gonna be something like that.
Yeah,
They're gonna have
will team
a
up.
combination of Japanese and American forces.
I guess.
Boom.
But my thing is with that whole thing is Godzilla's fucking huge.
Yeah.
And Godzilla's fucking huge. And King Kong, I feel like, isn't as big as...
Actually, I don't think he is.
No!
Because he climbed the Empire State
Yeah,
Building.
but Godzilla is the Empire State
Yeah.
Building.
So he's going to be like...
Oh, shit.
What have I done? Wait, that's going to be so easy. Godzilla's just going to breathe on him and he'll be dead.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to do that.
I don't think it'll turn out.
They're just going to they're going to give some growth hormone to fucking King Kong. Make them they always do some
What if they retcon it and just be like, oh no, he was always this big?
I guess. He did look a lot bigger in like the latest film than he did in the previous one.
How do you compare that?
I don't know.
To Godzilla standards. Like, how do you think he would stand up, modern day? Because that's obviously what they're going to go by. To modern day Godzilla. You think he's still short? Because
I don't know.
I mean, even in King Kong, like the original, he was pretty big. But Godzilla's a freaking monster.
I don't know. It drains my thought, honestly. It's like...
I don't think it's worth it.
Just imagining where it's all going to go and like...
Well, what can they do with it?
Yeah.
Except for just like pit them against each other. Like, buy your tickets to see King Kong versus Godzilla. Oh, look,
buy your tickets to see
week.
Godzilla step on King Kong.
Yeah. Next week, Godzilla versus Mothra. Bet you haven't seen that before.
And they got this big... Did you see the preview that leaked for the next Avengers movie?
No.
Oh my god.
I did not.
It looked crazy.
What is it?
Like Thor hits the Guardians of the Galaxy's windshield in space. And
Okay.
I guess that's how they would meet each other.
Oh, okay. We're just gonna keep going with it.
And Spider-Man's almost dead or some shit talking to Iron Man. And it's just
I feel
crazy.
like we're gonna get to the point where every single character that they've ever put is just gonna be in one single movie.
Yeah, that's what they've been gearing this up for.
To be honest, that's a little much. That's a lot of
They
actors.
said there's 30 roles that are in that movie.
That's a lot of
30 superhero
good
roles.
actors. A lot of good actors.
Yeah.
That movie's gonna require a budget, a real budget.
It's probably break records. It's the
I'm
most
sure it will.
anticipated ever.
Aren't they gonna end it off with Infinity Wars or something?
Infinity. Well, there's 2 parts.
Or it was gonna lead up to it or something.
Well, yeah. It's the next Avengers movie is Infinity Wars, but it's gonna have 2
Okay,
parts.
that's what I thought.
I swear, either Steve Rogers, Captain America, is gonna die, or Iron Man is gonna die, or they're both gonna die.
I'm gonna be upset if Iron Man dies.
Why? It makes sense though. Like his contracts are up.
I understand that, but like, come on, it's Iron Man. He's the one he's your baby at this point. Yeah. He's the one that kicked it all off. You know what? Kill off Captain America. You know what I'm saying?
I'd be okay with that. I would rather Iron Man stick on than Captain America.
He could like retire or something, but don't kill him.
Or just kind of throw him in a film here and there.
Yeah, little cameo. That'd be nice.
Did you see the latest Spider-Man movie?
See it? No.
Yeah.
I haven't.
It's pretty good.
Is it good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Did it redeem all the past?
Well, okay. So before this Spider-Man came along, I was more of a fan of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans because it was just the shit. It was like the first superhero movie that was decent.
It looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
I tried to climb a building after that.
You tried to climb a building.
Did not work.
It inspired you is what you're saying.
Yeah. Sure.
And then Andrew Garfield came out, and my girlfriend liked him, and I wondered why the fuck would you like that? It's like an abomination.
Because he's the edgy teenager.
Yeah.
Look at him.
They try to match up like some Twilight romance
shit.
Yeah. With
that's what he looks like.
That bullshit. It's bullshit. You can't just throw like a pretty boy into the role and then just hope for the best.
No.
And he disrespected the role.
He did?
Yeah. Like, he was like, I hate Spider-Man, or I hate playing it, and Sony like dropped him like right after. He got fired, basically. Whoa. That's what I think. That's what I heard happen. Don't follow me. I don't read.
No, let's get into this. Why would he say that? Why would he say that when he has like a good job? Like, it's a good job.
If I was an actor, I would not bad talk anything until I knew like the franchise was over.
Until you at least until you knew you weren't gonna get another role. Yeah. You know,
like it. I don't fucking know. It's
that's a little silly.
So.
Anyway,
Tom Holland is the new Spider-Man, and he's kind of bring like a breath of fresh air to the role.
Here's the thing: a lot of people are just like tired of them remaking
Spider-Man
the same, and telling the same story. Having a new face. It's like when are we gonna get someone that's just gonna stick with the role, and we don't have to go backtrack through all this story?
I think unless Tom Holland dies, I think it's him. I think they're just gonna stick with him.
They probably will, just because they need to get Marvel going. They need to get Spider-Man into this stuff now, and they can't really afford to wait, through 3 more Spider-Mans.
So he also, they have this the biggest flaw about that cinematic universe is it's so split up with like the rights to different characters.
I know, yeah, that's true.
And it's so guess what? Sony, who owns the rights to Spider-Man, they kind of teamed up with Marvel Studios. They are making their own films with villains from Spider-Man, separate universes, like Venom.
That's pretty cool.
What? No, it's separate.
Well, what do you mean?
They haven't Tom Holland will never see Venom. It's a different universe.
But what's the point of having Spider-Man villains if Spider-Man doesn't even get to face them?
Yeah.
That defeats the whole purpose. Because, like, the hero and the villain make each other.
And, like, Venom's, like, his nemesis.
He's top dog.
Yeah.
That's who you go after first.
And, you know who the guy who played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises? Or whatever. He's playing Venom. Supposedly.
Okay.
I feel like he'd be great for the role if he was facing Spider-Man. Yeah. Like, they're going to make it a great movie, but not throw in the key ingredient.
Well, I don't understand. Why don't they?
I don't know. It's like they're after money.
Well, but if they own the rights to Spider-Man, technically, why don't they just include him in the
cinematic universe?
What is Marvel going to be like? No.
No, that's not Marvel. I'm sure wants it. It's Sony's being.
That doesn't even make sense. That's not even like a good marketing decision. Period. It's just why would you leave out Spider-Man in a Spider-Man movie?
I don't know why they wouldn't just integrate Spider-Man.
That's not even something to be stubborn about. Like, you have a license to a pretty famous.
That's because they're about the dollars. They're not true fans.
But how does that make more money to them?
I don't know.
Than not what?
I don't know. But honestly, I like Venom, so I'll go see it. I will give them my money.
Spider-Man's like top dollar. Like, why? Everyone loves Spider-Man.
I know. They're not staying true to it.
I don't get it.
What else? What else is there? I'll bring this up again. King Arthur.
Yep.
King Arthur pissed me off. And
anger time.
It's all right. So they were gonna have. It was gonna be its own cinematic universe, and I guess that's my theme here today: the cinematic universes. But I wasn't excited about King Arthur because I had heard such terrible things about it, and then I've said, "Fuck it, I'll watch it." I sat down in my TV room, and I turned it on. And I just watched it because I'll basically watch anything. Yeah. So I turn it on, and I love the movie from finish to end. I loved it. It's one of my favorite actors is Charlie Hunnam. So and then I looked up. I got excited because I set so much stuff up for the cinematic universe. I was like. Okay, I was instantly like, as soon as the movie ended, I was ready for the second film. So I look up online, and it fucking flopped. They lost money in that film. So, and they completely canceled everything else. They said, fuck that, we're never doing that again, blah, blah, it's done.
We're done. We're taking the money, and we're running. Well, actually, you said that they
lost money.
They didn't even make.
They didn't even. They had nothing to run with. They just ran away.
No, they ran off into the corners of the world.
So, yeah, and I was so pissed, and I was so mad, but not at the movie because I loved it. I was mad at people because they gave it so much shitty ratings, and then I finally sit down and watch it and find out it's not bad at all. I liked it.
That seems to happen a lot. I feel like, at least with some movies that you don't really like hear about much anymore, because they just fall into obscurity because no one likes it.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing, because I'm sure that would have been a good setup for. But they shouldn't have tried to set it up from the get-go.
Yeah, it should have been a standalone. That's how Iron Man stayed. Yeah, it's just dead alone. That's how the Marvel universe is built off of, is because it could stand alone.
Mm-hmm. They should have just... you just end the movie, and then come back on the next one, completely new conflict, think of something up. I mean, you're basically building the lore as you go.
Yeah.
You know? What a bunch of morons.
They really fucked that one up. Anyways, we have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, enough about you, dude. Let's get on. Let's get on with this.
All right. So, you had...
I have quite a few things I want to talk about.
With video games, yes.
All right. Let's switch gears a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. So today, not a big release day, as far as AAA goes. So we'll just talk about, short and simple, pretty fun game I've been into for a while now. It's called Cook, Serve, Delicious 2. The sequel just released. And basically the first game was about running your own restaurant, sort of. And you'd have to buy the recipes, you'd have to buy the equipment and stuff, and you'd have to make sure that you were keeping your customers happy, and you were passing safety inspections. Basically, the main gameplay aspect of this was it rewarded you on memorizing key presses. So how this would work is say you were making lasagna, right? It would have a set combination, like an order would pop up, set combination. It'd be like, put that pasta in. Let's see it go, boy. And then to the side would be all the ingredients mapped to different keys on the keyboard.
Yeah.
So you just be, obviously, you got to press it in the right order, cook it, boom. Hopefully you did it right, and if you did, good job. Because this game is all about making you feel bad if you mess up.
Yeah.
Because if you don't get a perfect day, you miss out on some major money. So the real meat comes in when you've got, like, you start off the game with like 4 different prep stations, which is like, this is where the orders come in. So like you get 4 different places where orders can come in. Simple enough. Then they add up to like 10 later on as you like progress through the game. So when this becomes an issue is when a lot of people are talking about your restaurant. They come in at rush hour and everyone is pissed because you're not getting their food out in time and no one is happy. So you have to be quick about what, so it really rewards you on memorizing what keys like every recipe, all the food, all of that stuff. Once you have them all memorized, it's like you can look just at the card and just press it, go.
Yeah.
And that's really the main addiction, I feel, is for that game. So main progression from this was you'd start out 0 star, and you get a set list of goals, and you would try to complete them. Sometimes they would be pass a certain number of safety inspections, have a perfect day where you don't mess up on an order at all, or you'll buy more food, you'll upgrade them, stuff like that. So once you pass them, you'll get you go up a star, you'll get an additional like prep station or whatever, and the game will get a lot more difficult because more people are looking at your restaurant because you're 1 star, you're 2 star, 3 star. You know, once you get up to 5 star, I've heard
you haven't gotten there.
Things no. It's really, it's a pretty long game for it's only like $10, I think.
Is it on Steam?
Yeah.
I saw it on Steam.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'd recommend it. You could run it on, they have it on phones too.
Really?
So you can run it on like anything. It's not that graphically demanding like some games. But once you get up to 5, there's this other mechanic where the items that you place on your menu will cause like bonuses or negatives depending on what they are. So one bonus might be like it's a fatty food. If you have, say, like 3, put 3 food on there that has like fatty on it, it'll decrease your overall buzz, which is how many people are going to, come into your restaurant, by a set amount. So you generally want to avoid that. You want to get the right combination recipe or menu down so that you get the maximum amount of people, so you get more money, so you can spend it on upgrading your food.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and that's the main progression in the game. It's just builds on top of each other.
I see. So
the second game released today. The first game released back in October 13th, 2013. So about 4 years ago now. And now we have 2. A little bit of issues, but this first one, there was a feature. There's like the dev stated in an apology email, like, sorry, but I discovered some last minute bugs before release, so I had to disable some features, which was mostly just we can't view general buzz about like our restaurant and stuff. Can't view the tower email, which is just it had like job offers. It basically had a little bit of story elements in it.
Okay.
So that's disabled. And then there was one more thing. It was like the mouse didn't work. Unfortunate, but it released at $13, so it's not bad. The food, oh my god, the food looks amazing. It's like picture perfect. Like this guy, and it's one guy that made all of this, and it's incredible how good it looks. He's remapped a lot of the keys. You don't have to press any of the arrow keys now, or you just have, all you can do is just leave your hands at home.
Yeah.
And you'd be able to press anything that you want.
Nice.
And he upgraded the menu like quite extensively. There's so much food to buy now, but you can't upgrade any of it. It's like base. He also added two separate versions where you'll have your restaurant all by itself. It'll play like regular stuff, and then there's like a ton of other restaurants that are like kind of competing with you, or like they have this chef for hire type of deal, where you'll go in, you'll work for them, and see what they got. Try and make some money. But the thing is like you don't make any money working at these other places. like you can make $100 working out like one of these other chains, and then you can make $500 working at your own place. So obviously it's more so for like completion, it seems, but it's been pretty nice so far. It hasn't disappointed me. It's been what I was expecting.
I have to check that out.
It's pretty fun, man. There's a multiplayer too.
Really?
Like co-op.
How?
So like, okay, here's the thing. I haven't tried it in 2 yet. I have seen in the first one, what you would do is one person would have the controller or have the keyboard, whatever, and the second player would shout out the order. So like you would say either the ingredients or like what the name of the order was. And that's how it would go. But I've never been able to try it because no one wants to.
So what if the people giving you the order fuck up? Then you get a fucked up order?
Then I yell it. Yeah, then I get a messed up order. And I have... and basically friendship is over at that point.
I saw another thing that was coming out on Steam. And it was Frostpunk.
I saw that. It's like, what is it? A city builder or something?
It's like, yeah. It's like a post-apocalyptic. Mm-hmm. And the world's frozen. And it's like... You know how Banished was?
Yeah.
So instead of like building like square wise, it's like a circle, and you just build around and around and around, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
So Banished was a pretty popular. Not really. I guess it's a city builder. It's not really a city. It's like
a town.
Yeah, back in like 1800s.
Yeah.
You like have a group of what are they? Nomads, or like exiles.
Yeah.
And they've
been banished.
Yeah, banished. And you basically just try and build a town for them so they can thrive.
Yeah.
It's
pretty fun for an old ass game.
It is. It doesn't get any more updates, but I mean, it doesn't really need any.
Yeah.
It's fine as much as it is. So it's sort of like Banished.
It's kind of like Banished. You need housing and pretty much the same thing, except way upgraded, way more futuristic.
I'll have to check. Did it release yet, or
it's not released yet?
That's what I thought. I didn't think it was. It looked interesting.
But I was looking, because what I do for video games, I go on YouTube and say like the next like
thing,
city builder, top 10 or whatever.
Show me what you got.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and that thing popped up, and I was like, what the hell? And then I was looking through Steam, and I saw it again, so I checked it out. You got a cough there?
Yeah, sorry. Great. Anyway, something else I wanted to talk about real quick.
All right.
Destiny 2 released back in September 6th to pretty positive reception so far. Destiny was sort of, if you don't know, Bungie, the developers of Destiny, who also created Halo, developed Destiny to sort of get their name back, really, because 343 Industries took over their Halo series. Really? After like Microsoft kicked them out.
So they lost it.
Yeah, they lost it. And so Destiny was their way to like push it and just be like, this is us. We got another Halo coming, and now it's online. It's like an MMO FPS.
What does that mean?
You know, like WoW.
Oh, yeah.
Like WoW, but it's a first-person shooter.
I see.
So think about just it's WoW, Halo.
That's a weird
right?
combination,
right?
Yeah.
It works pretty well actually for what it does. It released back in like I want to say 2014. I think it's been that long. And when it released, well, there was a lot of hype surrounding it because it was Bungie's next big thing. It was its prodigy, you know? It was the thing that was going to make it back into relevancy. And so when it released, people had some major issues with it. A lot of it had to do with how convoluted and ambiguous the story was. It was very vague. Like, basically, it starts up with you with this, like, ghost thing. It's like a little sort of ball that just floats around. And it comes up and it flashes a bit. And then it's talking to you saying, I've been looking for you for a while. You've been dead for a long time. You're going to see a lot of things you don't understand. But don't worry. Now let's go kill some things. So it doesn't explain anything off the bat. All right, whatever. You do a few missions. You're sort of trying to come to grip with the story and like what this world is, because you're basically dropped into the main city, the main hub area. And you just see this floating ball. Everyone's calling it the Traveler, but no one's talking about what it is or what it does. So you do a few missions, you come back, you talk, you get a pretty decent cinematic cutscene, and there's this guy called the Speaker. He basically talks for the Traveler, this giant orb that's just protecting the last safe city on Earth. And so he comes down, and he's like, man, this really sucks. Traveler was like damaged a while ago, and it hasn't been able to properly recover yet. And your character asks, well, what happened? And he's like, well, I could tell you about the war, about the collapse that happened all those years ago. I could tell you what hurt the Traveler and what crippled it. I could tell you all these things, but I'm actually not. Bye. And then that's it. And then that's it. And here's how they explain their story. They have these things called Grimoire cards. All right, you'll receive these cards after you do like a certain challenge or task. The thing is like you can't. And these Grimoire cards had bits of lore on them. They told the story basically.
Oh. So you find out on your own.
You found not only that, but they didn't even have those in the game. So you'd have to leave the game, go onto a computer or smartphone.
What?
And go onto their website, and then look at what you got, and then read.
That is, oh my god.
And that's where people had the most issue with it, because they pulled you out of the world that you're trying to immerse yourself in to go look on your little computer. But
that would piss me off.
I know. It would too. I mean, it's good now because like I can just sit and read it, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just so silly because the story was so incoherent. You couldn't understand. You never understood what was going on. People would be talking about like these other races. They talk about something called the Hive. They talk about the Fallen. They talk about these events like the collapse, and you're like, what is it? What are these things? And like that happened with another scene where like this this character that's been like stalking you for the whole game, like comes in and finally you guys start talking, and she talks about the collapse, I think, or some race, and your character's like, who are they? And she's like, that I don't have. She said, oh my god, this is okay. She says, I don't even have time to even wait, hold on. Oh my god, it was like such a stupid dialogue. It was so dumb. I can't even explain. I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain. That's what she said. That's what she said. And it's like, wow, devs, you really nailed that one, didn't you? Thanks for telling me like 20 hours into the game. Anyway, when she said that, I was like, all right, this is just ridiculous. Yeah. So, good news to everybody involved. They removed that completely in Destiny 2. So, all the lore is in the game, and you'll be told about it when it happens. So, it won't be more like you stumbling around trying to figure out who everyone is or what this history is. They're adding a lot more strikes, raids, which is basically like their dungeons and whatnot. PlayStation actually is getting a lot of exclusives just for, I'm not really sure why. They just made a deal with Bungie. They'll be getting like an extra map and some like exclusive skins or armor for all their classes that Xbox and PC won't be getting. So that's pretty cool.
Sounds like they're pissed off at Microsoft.
I think they are, you know? I think they are. And then there's one thing that fans are complaining about, and that's the difficulty. Everyone's saying that it's really easy to just like level up, get to the max level.
It's too easy?
Get to the max level and then just like sit around, do in-game content. Try and like roll for the highest gear and stuff like that. And they're also mad about microtransactions. Let's talk about that, folks. Now, microtransactions, you'll usually see them in free-to-play games like Clash of Clans. It's their little gems that they got. You can buy that, speed up whatever you want, buy another builder or something like that. And now we got those in AAA games, which are $60. So you're probably thinking, well, they can't be that much then. It's only $60, right? or AAA games are $60. They can't have expensive microtransactions. Well, let me tell you, folks, that's not the case. Bungie is completely delving into some dirty stuff, all right? Like, we're talking about premium currency going from $5 to $50. Are you kidding me? That's insane. It's insane. That's $10 less than the base game.
Which GTA did that too.
GTA did that too. Yeah. And that's so dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, online functionality, I get that. It's an online, you know.
Yeah.
But not
Buy
GTA.
Money.
GTA did some shady stuff too.
What?
Like on Steam, they had their they had this, like, I don't know what it's called. It's like Mega Shark card bundle.
Yeah.
That's their like premium currency and stuff. Yeah. It was that plus the game, and that version was on sale, but not the base game. So the base game was still at $60. I think. And then they had the Shark card. Wait, no. I think it was the other way around, except they were both on sale. And people were furious about it. And they're still pulling shady stuff.
Yeah. Video games are just changing to shit.
Well, it's more like AAA developers. You can't trust any of them.
Yeah.
Because they're all trying to they're like big names, so they don't care anymore. They'll just, you know, all you got to do is slap
You're still going to buy it either way.
All you got to do is slap their name on it.
Yeah.
And then it's like liquid gold to some people. And, I mean, it's really not going to stop.
Yeah.
At this point. This trend, it's become a trend since like 2 years ago or something, I think.
Around GTA.
And every company has done it since.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'll stop. So great. We're going to have a bunch of microtransactions and $60 games, which, mind you, some people paid. All right, so Destiny base edition, $60. All right, cool. Then we got the $89 edition, which includes the two expansion packs that will be releasing sometime later in the next year or so. And then we got people paying $250 for the collector's edition. And we got some people paying $450 for the limited PS4 bundle, right? And none of those came packaged with premium currency. Not one. So you're telling me to get that emote or whatever, the ones that, all this stuff that you lock behind a paywall, you're going to make me dish out real money in addition to what I already paid you. What? You have some nerve. Some nerve, dude. I don't know. That's just what grinds my gears. and now Shadow of War.
Yeah.
Middle Earth.
Doing the same shit.
But we'll talk about that next time.
Yeah, next time.
Well, anyway.
Well, fellas, I think we're
out of time.
We're out of time. We went over, I think.
We're over?
Yeah.
I thought it said 5 minutes.
All right, fellas. We'll see you next time on the next Updata.
Updata.